So I think one of the really cool things they're doing with Andor's season 2 is doing these like 3 episode blocks where each block is 1 year. I just finished the first episode and we're heading into the first block of released episodes, the season premiere, as it were, which is the first 3 episodes. And there's going to be an overarching story that's told throughout all 3 of these. But right now, we're addressing the first episode, which I just finished watching. So if you haven't already seen the episode, make sure to pause, go away, watch it, come back. I don't do push spoiler free, so this is not going to be a spoiler free review. You've had your warning. I will be talking about all the things moving forward. That's your warning. Now, because I'm not watching all 3 of these episodes back to back and then doing a review, what I'm doing is episode 1 review, episode 2 review, episode 3 review, and then I will look back at the overarching first year block and we will go from there. So essentially, let me pull this up so you can get the backdrop going. Um, this episode picks up 1 year after the episodes from the first season, and right away we get this entry shot, which I guess um, they built an actual TIE fighter for this episode, and it was pretty impressive the way they did this. So you see Andor here convincing this technician essentially um, to help him steal this ship, and it's all part of the rebellion. And I think one of the really cool aspects of Andor, which is different from a lot of the other Star Wars productions, is that they are largely shooting on practical sets. So there's actually these big props that are being built, and they're on location as much as possible. Um, so his whole arc at the beginning is he's stealing this ship to take it somewhere. The problem is he doesn't really know what he's doing because it's an experimental TIE fighter, and his getaway is not clean. But he does get away. Now, simultaneous to this, we have a wedding celebration with Mon Mothma's daughter happening. Apparently, this is something that's going to take place over 3 days. And so we're at the Mothma residency. There's a lot of like planet jumping. I did take show notes, so I'm just remembering off the top of my head. I don't know all of the named locations. Um, but there's a celebration going on there. And while this is taking place, Luthen shows up. And he's there because he was invited by one of the guests, who, if I remember correctly, was the mob boss from season 1. And he invited Luthen to come, so he's there. Mothma's pissed that he's there. Um, everybody's a little upset that all these people are showing up to the first, to this party, and it's like everybody's being gathered together. So that's gonna be pretty complex, essentially. Um, let's go through here and see. That was yes, Val. That's her name. Val Sartha. I had to look up the name. Mothma's cousin is here as well. So there's lots of complexities going down at the residency as this is going on. Then we've got Bix, and I don't remember the guy's name, who essentially they got off the planet um, in the beginning, but they're all off in hiding on this planet without visas, and trying to stay alive and undercover. And she's having these post-traumatic nightmares, largely because of what happened to her with the torture. And they're waiting for word from Cassian. Meanwhile, Luthen, by the way, is also waiting a word from Cassian, and all anyone has heard is that there was an Imperial fighter that was stolen, and it's been, I think, a couple of days, and there's been no word from Cassian. And the reason there's been no word from Cassian is because when he lands on the planet where he's supposed to meet this other pilot who's going to pick up the ship and carry it on to the next location, he gets ambushed by a bunch of, essentially it's another part of the rebellion, but it's this loose misfit gang, and apparently they had some sort of an internal fight. Somebody ran off with a ship. The remnants are left. They're fighting amongst themselves. None of them know how to fly this ship. They want to figure out how to fly the ship. They want to steal the ship for him. They make him a prisoner. Um, Chaos starts to descend on that camp. Um, and we'll go back to that in a minute because that's the end cap of the episode. We get a fade to black, and then more importantly is that as all of this is going on, we see a return um, of why am I blanking on his name? Krennic. Krennic is back. Now this is obviously a precursor to Rogue One, right? But he's here. He's formed this special council, and it has something to do about this planet, which has these spiders on it, which secrete this silk. But what's most importantly is that there's this compound that they need from the planet that they need to coat the reactor walls, I think, of the Death Star, and they have to figure out how to get it out of the planet. And the problem is that they're on such a tight timeline. They're trying to figure out if they're not going to be able to get the material out of the planet through peaceful means. Quick commercial break, everyone, to celebrate and give thanks to all of these amazing people who keep me on the air full time. Really appreciate the support. All you got to do is join as a member. You get access to private videos. You can also do super thanks on any upload or super chats and stickers on any live stream or premiere you see. And beyond that, don't forget we're multi-streaming over on Twitch now, so you can support over there as well. Thanks so much to everybody. Let's get back to the video at hand. What, what alternatives are there to get this out? And get what they need to finish the Death Star. Even if that means killing off the population and destroying the planet, if that's what it takes to get all the resources that they need to make this thing for the Emperor. So that's going on at the same time as all this is going on. And that's when we get a return to God, it's hard for me to remember all the names of all these characters. Dedra, who is there, the Imperial Security Bureau, and her boss have been invited, and they're there as a part of this think tank that's going to come up with a way to figure out how to get this thing underneath Krennic, and they're on a tight timeline to do so. And she's got the wheels turning and tells Krennic that he needs to create some sort of a rebellion group on the planet of insurgencies that are going to do something bad, which I believe is going to allow them to step in and use force. I don't know where that's going yet, but we'll find out. While all of this is taking place, chaos is happening on that planet where Cassian is with the plane, scary with the TIE fighter. And these people start fighting amongst themselves, and it ends up with blaster fire. And they all start shooting each other, and Cassian tries to make an escape, but ultimately gets um, knocked down and drugged away by a couple of guys. Dragged away, excuse me. While there is a bunch of explosion happens, and it just goes and fades and goes to black. So we don't actually know how that ends up, which means I got to turn around and immediately watch episode 2 and figure out where this is going, because we've got 3 episodes in this first block. So um, all we do know is that there there's so many threads going on right now, and since we're coming back after a bit of a break from the first season, I didn't watch the first season leading up into this, so it's been 2 years, a year. I don't remember when the first episode, when the first season came out. So I got to get up to speed with all these characters all over again. But we're there. It's cool. It's Star Wars, great special effects. I loved the fact that they built an actual life-size TIE fighter. And I really want to know more. And I have a feeling that something crazy is about to go down at the Mothma residency too, because we've got all these major players in one place, and all of them can do really bad things to each other if things go south. So can't wait to see more. Stay tuned. I will, of course, be reviewing all of Star Wars Andor, just like we did the first season. We're also reviewing The Last of Us Season 2 and a bunch of other stuff. This is just more of what I do here on the channel. So if you like what you see here, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Daily streams happen at 5 a.m. on YouTube and Twitch Central Time. We do a lot of things from games to movies to TV shows and beyond. So hopefully we'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. May the Force be with you, everybody.